It's 2023. Are you ready to declutter and get organized while also not breaking the bank? Well then, this video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Rosemary, and this video is jam-packed with everyday Dollar Tree items that have been altered or enhanced in some way to create actual hacks. By combining them with other items, turning them sideways, upside down, or using them in a completely different capacity than their intended use, to find creative and inexpensive ways to get organized and make life easier. We had so many ideas, we actually had to break this down into multiple videos, so if you like these, there's plenty more to come. But let's jump right into this one with this handy little sun visor sunglass clip. It has a holder on one side and a clip on the other that slides into the visor in your car. It's actually pretty handy for its intended use of holding your sunglasses by sliding the sunglass arms into the foam padded holder. But how about also clipping one to your seat back pocket to hold a bag for trash? Or add two to a seat back pocket to hold a Dollar Tree mesh bag for toys? How about clipping one in your trunk to hold grocery bags? Back to the visor, how about a safe and handy place to store parking garage tickets or mail on your way to the mailbox? So much better than placing them on the console, only for them to go flying off at the first turn or hard stop. Back at home, one of those clips on an entryway shelf can hold your keys, a hat, your dog's leash, or maybe be a home for your work lanyard. And don't forget that outgoing mail to grab on your way out the door. We'll have more fun uses for that little clip in the next video. But for now, let's head to the kitchen to see some kitchen organization hacks. When you're rushed for time and the troops are hungry, making meals can be such a chore, especially when cooking tools are crammed into overstuffed drawers and finding what you need is difficult. When you're low on drawer space, tools like knives, spatulas, turning spoons might be better stored outside of drawers, and we can do that without adding to the clutter. One way is to create an attractive holder and display. For knives, try using an appealing container like this scalloped acrylic container from Dollar Tree. Fill the container with rice and add your knives. The rice holds the knives in place and creates a wonderful neutral colored fill. The wide mouth of the container allows you to store a good number of knives, and they can be easily identified by their handle. The flat side of the container allows it for it to be easily stored along the wall, maximizing your counter space. This next hack comes in levels and is a good option for keeping your most used cooking utensils close at hand and accessible for quick use. If you have a refrigerator with an exposed side or other furnishings with metal components, you may want to pick up some of these magnetic hooks Dollar Tree is now carrying. They stick right to the side of your fridge and can provide a home for your favorite spoon or spatula. Although this solves the convenient and quick problem, mismatched and worn utensils could add to visual clutter. If this is a concern, let's take this hack up to the next level. Consider buying a new set of matching utensils. Dollar Tree has a wide variety of cooking utensils in different coordinating finishes, with several sets coming from well-known brands like McCormick and Betty Crocker. A crisp new set of color-coordinated cooking utensils on your fridge, along with some coordinating pot holders and mitts, will look so nice it could double as kitchen decor. However, if you're still concerned that hanging utensils will add to all that visual clutter, let's take this up another notch. Consider buying a new set in the same color as the side of your fridge or other furnishings that you'd like to use. My refrigerator has a gray side, so I picked up these gray utensils, and when hanging on the fridge, they blend right in and you barely notice them. Although there are plenty of pretty amazing pot and pan organizers available on the market today, if you don't have the budget or the space, you may need to simply nest them for storage in a cabinet or drawer. To protect surfaces, you may have seen these felt pads in stores or online, and now Dollar Tree sells a pack of 3 for $1.25. Unfortunately, they are so thin and light, you would get only minimal protection from them. A quick hack here would be to head over to the hardware section and pick up these adhesive felt pads. Adding the pads to the pan protectors will create thicker, more weighty pieces that provide excellent cushioning between the pans, better than and at a fraction of the cost of the thicker options available elsewhere. You simply need to peel the pads and attach them to the protectors, but adding a little glue would also be a good idea to ensure a long-lasting bond. They are kind of neat looking too. I don't know, but they may have the makings of a cool home decor piece. What do you think? But for now, they'll be protecting these pans. Now, if you're anything like me, when you cook, you're trying to follow some great new recipe you found online and trying to follow along on your phone. But the phone is typically fighting for counter space with ingredients, cutting boards, cooking utensils, etc. And in addition, it's typically getting splattered with whatever it is that I'm cooking. So I found a solution to keep it off my counter, away from the mess, and better yet, at eye level. I place it in a cabinet adjoining my stove in the spot typically occupied by my salt and pepper. And since 99% of the time I'm using that to cook with anyway, that's not a problem. To keep it upright, I have a little surprise here inside the cabinet hanging on a hook. It's a little collapsible phone holder that I picked up at Dollar Tree. Keep it stored there until I need it, and then I flip it into place and it's ready to use for recipes, and holds the phone both in portrait and landscape positions. Now my phone is tucked away safely from the mess and clutter and easy for me to read. When I'm done, I simply need to fold it up and store it away. Now that dinner is ready, it's time to grab some plates. But if cabinet space is tight, your plates may be stacked under bowls with other items in the way. A good solution here would be to use an inner shelf. Unfortunately, these Dollar Tree shelves are a little too flimsy for this job, but a quick fix here would be to take a Dollar Tree sign, any rectangular one will do, and glue it to the top of the shelf using some E6000 glue. You can then paint the top or add some shelf liner and weight down with heavy items until the glue is set to ensure a tight bond. And now the bowls and plates are separated for easy access. But what about all that other stuff like the napkins, straws, and cups that were piled on top? Well, before getting to those and continuing with more organization hacks, I wanted to ask if you're enjoying the video. And if so, please take a second to put a little something in the hat. Although YouTube is free to viewers, the way creators get paid from YouTube is, in effect, related to the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and notifications viewers give their videos. So if you're enjoying this video and would like to support it and this channel, please take a second to put a little something in the hat by doing one or more of these actions. Thanks, and now let's get back to those hacks. So for the additional storage of those lighter weight items like the napkins and straws, etc., I'm going to take a Dollar Tree magazine file and cut it down to size appropriate for both my cabinet and the depth of the items I want to store. I'll assemble the file, then attach it to the underside of my shelf using some double-sided mounting tape. I have long been a fan of Gorilla brand version of this tape, but recently tried this brand from Amazon since it was on sale for just $7.99 for a huge 9.8 foot roll. A little bit goes a long way, so I'll cut small pieces and put them down each side and then in the middle. Then just pull off the back and stick it to the shelf. I don't have room now in the section with the plates and the bowls, but in the very next cabinet over, I have plenty of unused vertical space to install my holder. Attach, I'll slide the holder into the cabinet, sticky side up, and press into the underside of the shelf above, smoothing over the touch points to ensure the tape is adhering to the shelf. And now I have a home for my napkins and straws, and that mounting tape is awesome. It will stay in place until you pull it down with considerable force, but will not damage the shelf. I can't say the same though for the cardboard magazine holder. Here is the first one I did to test this hack, and when I went to remove it, I really had to yank and pull. Although it tore the cardboard on the holder, you can see how the tape pulled clearly from the shelf side. But I used way too much tape. That's how I found out a little goes a long way. Now, I can't put anything too heavy in there, but if it's fairly lightweight, it'll work. For example, paper plates and paper cups, pot holders, and dish towels. It also works for food and drink items like ramen, snacks, tea, and hot cocoa packets. And if you think about it, you really don't even need the magazine holder. Many products come in boxes you can easily convert to holders just by removing the flaps and adding mounting tape to the back of the box. And voila, an instant organizer even in the tightest of spaces. Cleaning up after meals is that much more of a bummer when cleaning materials are disorganized, empty, or missing. If you watch my organization hacks video from 2020, you may remember the under the sink Lazy Susan I made for the hall bath vanity by gluing a pizza pan to a cake pan, then putting the combo into a second cake pan filled with marbles. I have since moved and am now using that Lazy Susan under my kitchen sink. However, this is a much taller cabinet with lots of unused vertical space above. So I decided to transform the original Lazy Susan into a double-decker Lazy Susan. And yes, this is the original one, and it has held up pretty well over the last 3 years. Has a few scratches on it, but otherwise it's in pretty good shape. To create a second level, I took one of these paint and brush organizers from Dollar Tree, assembled it, and then glued it to the center of the pizza pan. Then I took another cake pan and glued it to the top of that brush organizer. Once the glue was set, I placed the combo back into the pan of marbles. And then it was ready to fill. In the lower middle section, I decided to store some sponges. And then on the top level, I placed my larger cleaning products like these Sam's Club size stainless steel cleaner, glass cleaner, and wipes, and then a full-size can of Pledge. On the bottom level, I placed all of my other cleaners, and I was kind of surprised to see that most of them now come in these streamlined containers, which works extremely well for this setup since I can position them sideways with the front facing out, and they fit perfectly onto the pizza pan supported by the pan lip on the bottom and the cake pan on the top. As you can see, I can fit a ton of products on, and I can easily see and access the product I'm looking for. If that hack, or any so far, have made an impression, please comment below. If you don't feel like writing, just put a few emojis. That works just as well. Another problem I have around the sink is having good storage for my wet sponges, scourers, and brushes. The sink cabinet did have these pull-out front panels, but any sponge holding compartments that may have been there at one time were long gone. So I made my own by taking Dollar Tree storage baskets, and I drilled some holes in the bottom. Then I added 2 small screws to the panel, leaving the screw out a little bit so that I could slide the screw tops into the holders on the side of the storage container. And you don't have to have these pull-out panels to use this hack. It works just as well inside a regular cabinet door as well. But I really don't like to put wet sponges in these confined spaces, so I typically just put things like sink stoppers and brushes in there, which still leaves my wet sponges without a spot. I tried Dollar Tree sponge holders, but those suction cups just don't work. They just slide down the sink. These suction cups have no suck, unless of course you're using that word to describe them. To fix that, I picked up one of these sunglass cords from Dollar Tree. I removed the suction cups from the holder and looped the sunglass cord through the holes, then back up to the top. I then slipped the cord around the faucet, holding all the ends together, and then zip tied the ends to the cord at the top of the holder. Now my sponge holder stays in place, providing an elevated and open space for my wet sponge to dry. And yes, I did go back and cut the tail off of that zip tie. But I still have problems with my steel scrubbies. If I leave them in the soap dish, they easily rust, get damaged, and make a mess. To solve this problem, I added a hanger to the pad by separating about the top third of the scrubby and then sliding a hair elastic through and looping one end through the other and pulling tight. I can now stretch this elastic handle around the front of the sponge holder, and now my scrubby can air dry too. I still had a few more brushes, but they found a home under the sink, again using those sunglass clips to the side of a shelf, and then I was able to just slide and store my brushes there. Now, you know your sister's uncle, brother's cousin's niece wants to see that one, so why not share? Storing leftovers can be such a pain, especially when searching for food storage containers that match. To create a quick hack for organizing lids, grab one of these Dollar Tree plastic baskets that have the holes along the sides. You'll also need a package of wood dowels as well as a package of poster tack. I'm going to use the dowels to create dividers in the basket. Because the holes run the length and width of the basket, I can adjust the dowels to hold the varying sizes of lids. So the dowels don't stick out too far, I cut them down to the appropriate width of the basket, and then I used some of the poster tack to create ends so that they don't slide through the holes. And then once my dowels were inserted to the right width and height for the lids I needed to organize, I went ahead and placed my lids into the organizer. I was able to create sections by type as well as size. And then I just placed the basket back into the drawer, and now I'm ready for whatever leftovers come my way. If food storage is problematic, I think water bottles are even worse. First of all, why are there so many? I swear they multiply like rabbits, and the hodgepodge of shapes and sizes makes them difficult to organize and keep tidy. I've seen some pretty nice organizers online, but the prices were way high. So I wanted to see if I could make one out of Dollar Tree products instead. So I picked up a couple of these Dollar Tree shelves, and they are in the $1.25 part of the store, and then also a couple of these wood pieces from the craft section. Next, I took one of the shelves, and using some wood glue, I attached the 2 craft wood pieces to either side. And then let the glue set for a few hours. And then once the glue was set, it was time to assemble the rest of the organizer. And for separators, I'm going to be using these wood slices. So I'm going to just place those on the shelves. But the neat thing about doing a DIY version of this is you can actually make these custom to the size of your particular containers. So after deciding where I wanted to put my spacers, I went ahead using some wood glue and attached them to my bottom shelf. Next, I attached the top shelf, again using wood glue. And then I added the spacers on the top shelf, putting in 2 pieces along each end, as well as leaving that one space there a little larger, since we do have one water bottle that is larger in size. And then, so much better. Now we have our most used water bottles organized and easy to see and access. There's also plenty of room to add a 3rd tier, or if you prefer, you could also do one of those undershelf magazine holder hacks. I don't know. I think that one was pretty good. Maybe even a subscribe? Here's another organizer using Dollar Tree's wood craft pieces. These typically come with whimsical artwork like llamas, unicorns, and rainbows. For now, I'm just going to be using the bottom part of the box. However, I'm going to be using the lid later on in this video. What I discovered was that regular size spice jars fit 2 jars to a box perfectly, and that pretty much applies to all brands that offer 2 to 3 ounce size bottles that stand approximately 4 inches tall. Another great option would be bottles of sprinkles, since many brands offer those in 4-inch bottles as well. And here you can see an entire drawer of spice bottles, and since they are all the same brand, the uniform look does add to the appeal. However, all regular size spice bottles will fit in this configuration. As for the lids to those boxes, I'm going to use those to make a coffee pod organizer. For these, I'm going to take a couple of popsicle sticks that I cut to size and then glued in a cross shape across the top. This creates a little container perfect to house coffee pods. You can then mix and match with other Dollar Tree wood boxes and crates to create an entire hot beverage organization system. Well, that does it for part 1 of our 2023 Organization Hacks series. We hope that you found some useful ideas to help with your budget-friendly organization goals, and hope you plan to join us for upcoming episodes in this series. In the meantime, you might like to check out one of these videos here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.